The GDC 2026 survey just dropped and 52% of devs straight up think that AI is harmful for game development. This is up huge from last year. Everyone is saying AI bad, boycott AI slop, but I'm actually using AI every single day now, and I'm shipping games, I'm shipping tools, but that's only possible because I grinded code the hard way first. But if you skip that, yeah, you're cooked. I think there are two ways that you can be cooked when it comes to AI evolution in game development. I think the first one is that if you are a beginner and you never learn the foundations, you will never be able to use AI effectively because you're not able to even express what you mean to AI, so you can't even prompt AI to do what you want. And this doesn't matter how good the AI is, you need to tell the AI what to do. The AI can't just read your mind and read your imagination. You need to write in words what you want. And that's only going to be possible in a lot of cases when you at least know the basics. The second scenario where I can see that you're cooked, you don't use AI at all. You're just an anti-AI person. You think AI is just bad and harmful, and you just want to close your eyes and just hope everything is going to be good and AI is just going to slow down. But let me tell you, none of that is going to happen. If you're an intermediate or advanced developer and you use AI effectively, even in more complex projects, when you are intermediate and you are advanced, you can prompt AI well. You can solve problems yourself if anything encounters. You can be critical, you can have a problem solving skill if you have that. You can use AI so extremely effectively right now, not even to mention what's going to be possible in the future. I can tell you right now, if you're manually writing code in something basic that AI can do, you're just wasting time, right? Writing manual code right now is so useless and it's so slow. There's no reason to do it. I'm making a Steam game right now, it's going well. The architecture is pretty nice. I have no critical bugs, and obviously I can understand the code, so I've made games before without using AI for absolutely everything. I know the code is good and I'm going to finish this game. It's going very well, it's going very quickly. I can express and make all the features that I want to. I can be so creative, and yeah, I think it's awesome. So I don't want you to just close your eyes, think that AI isn't going to get better. AI models, they're going to get better, not just linearly, not slightly, it's exponential, literally. Just to give you an example, the state-of-the-art coding engine right now, which is Codex 5.3 at the time where I'm recording this video, 15 December 2026, that's the best state-of-the-art model in the world right now for coding. That one scored a 77 on coding challenges, which is a benchmark, just to simplify. 77%. The previous state-of-the-art model, which was Codex 5.2, which came out just a few weeks before, it was as 64%. The increase was literally 13%, I think. I'm not that good at math, but I think the difference between 64 and 77, that's a big percentage. Either way, I'm not good at math, but it's a big percentage. But let's say right now that you're in the cooked category, you're a beginner and you don't even know the foundations. You're stuck in tutorial hell, you don't know really how to learn. So let me just quickly explain now what you should do right now so that you can start being not left behind, because I think it's so important that you just get to this intermediate advanced stage as quickly as possible so that you can just utilize AI in this evolution. Because right now, a lot of people, they aren't going to use AI, even though they can, and it's going to be effective for them to do so. So if you do that, you have a big advantage, because there are all these people that just have a closed mind and don't know how to adapt to different technologies, people that don't use AI and they think that AI is harmful for game development and they don't want to use it. People like that, they're going to fall behind, and people like you that know that AI, it can actually be effective and it can be beneficial for you if you use it correctly. You're going to get much further than them, and this is a huge advantage. So I think you should just rush learning the basics, finish your first game with minimal AI. After your first game with minimal AI, that's when I think you should start using coding engines, because you kind of know the whole process of finishing a game, how to actually make a game in around 60 days. Just a small game. That's what I preach inside of Smartini. That's the promise that I have and the guarantee. It's the first link in the description if you want to read more about it, by the way. It's a paid product, so obviously no pressure to buy it, but you can read more about it if you want to just finish your first game as quickly as possible and just have the guarantee that you're going to release, and just save yourself from hours of confusion, tutorials, all these things. Then you can check out the first link below. But when I'm saying learn the foundations, this is very interesting, because a lot of people that think that AI is good for learning, right? But that's not the thing. Tutorials, that also doesn't work for learning, because you need to understand how to learn. There are two essential things, and that's going to be effort and feedback. So when we're watching tutorials, that doesn't have either effort, because it's not hard for you. You don't do an attentive attempt. It's not hard. You can do it while watching, you can literally watch a tutorial while eating food, right? It's not hard. You're just copy pasting code. And you also don't get any feedback because you're not experimenting yourself. You don't get pain in your body, like a bad feeling when something doesn't work. And you don't get a good feeling when you solve something yourself because the tutorial literally tells you everything that you need. So there's no feedback. There's not that much effort in just prompting the AI. So when you are prompting the AI, you might feel productive, you might feel like you're actually learning, but since you're not spending effort, you're not going to learn as quickly, or like nearly as quickly, even maybe you're learning at 5% of the speed as you would if you just close down AI, you just experimented the old-fashioned way, and you just experimented, build things yourself without using a tutorial, without using AI, just trying things, basically reading documentation. That's how you actually learn quickly, because that's both hard, you spend effort, you do an attentive attempt, and you also get feedback because you feel this pain in your body when something doesn't work, and you get a good feeling when you actually solve a problem yourself. Please rush to finish your first game without AI, then just become confident in the basics. Then you can use AI very efficiently, very quickly to just accelerate everything. Your speed is going to go like this compared to when you didn't use it. And when you've learned the basics, how do you actually use AI? So let me tell you how I use AI in my development right now. I ship different games, even with like worse coding models. I've shipped games with those models. A lot of the different code in there and a lot of the different like steps that I needed to do to release and stuff were completely guided by AI, and the game is like published, it works, everything's fine. So what I do is that I use the Codex app on my MacBook. I have a Windows PC as my desktop, and I use the Codex app usually. I think that's really good because you can have multiple agents running at the same time, and it's also just nice to have like a dedicated app only to using the coding model. The reason why I'm using my Mac for that is because there's simply not a Windows version of the app right now, but I do use AI agents like Codex in my IDE as well. When I'm doing like basic things where I just want something done very quickly, I can just use the AI inside of JetBrains, where there's like a window at the right there, which I can just simply prompt, and it has access to all the files and stuff. So that also works quite well. It's just preference that I use the Codex app usually, but I've developed things with only using the IDE. You don't need a Codex app if you don't have a Mac or you don't want to download it. You can just use it in your IDE. I use Codex to plan. I use the plan mode a lot so that I can actually like make a plan for what the AI is going to do together with AI. So the AI, it can review the project. I can ask it, for example, implement this feature. How would you implement this feature? What are the different steps? How difficult is this going to be? The AI is going to make a plan, which I can review. It's going to ask me questions even. This is very, very cool. If it's unsure about something, it's literally just going to ask you a question. This is like a new feature, which I think is really helpful. So we can design a plan together of how we're going to implement this. So it's not like I'm getting a result that I didn't even want. It's like literally the plan that I wanted and designed. And I use the plans to both fix bugs. So I do like code reviews a lot because I know when you're using AI code, it's not that easy to like figure out and spot bugs immediately if it's not like gameplay bugs. So what I do is that I do code reviews a lot to find like critical bugs. And the thing with bugs is that they have reduced like drastically in the last couple of weeks. Like when I'm developing right now, there's literally like 0 bugs. It's insane how good the AI is. And I also use it to add features. Usually it just one-shots everything. So I can just say like add this thing, and it's going to add it pretty well. And also integrate it very nicely into the existing systems, so that it's actually like usable and expandable. One very important caveat though is that I never make decisions just based on what the AI result is. So I never let the AI decide like different design choices, different game design choices. Every choice in the game is very intentional, so I don't let the AI make choices. I am very specific, and that's also why I use the planning mode, so that I can be more specific in what I actually want. And I'm kind of like the director. I direct everything, but I don't make the actor, which we say I'm a movie director. I don't make the actor like choose how they're going to act. Like I'm the director, I choose what you're going to do. And also it's very important that you are a good like quality assurance tester. So that you test the code very frequently every single time the AI makes a change. Make sure you always review the code. You also play the game, and you just see that everything works as usual. If it doesn't work, it's very important that you have version control so that you can simply just revert it. This is very rare actually, but if it doesn't work, it's very important that it's very easy for you to just simply roll back the changes that the AI made and then just clarify to the AI what you meant. So I have a full AI guide inside of Smartini, which is the paid program. It's the first link in the description, and you also get a 100% release guarantee. So if you don't release within 60 days, I'll personally coach you for free. where I literally tell you step by step what to do to release your game so that you're 100% certain that you will release if you just turn off your brain and just follow what I say. And you also get tons of other bonuses, including the full AI guide, which I mentioned. So I think it's awesome for you if you want to release your first game. It's the quickest and best way to do so. Check it out. Thank you so much for watching this video. Hope it helped you a ton.